I started in the 1990s, yeah, and actually before then, but yeah, early 1990s, late 1980s, yeah.
What do you find most rewarding about working with patients through the propulsion program workshop instead of in a traditional office environment?
Well, I'll tell you, when I get these patients in the workshop, and basically we get to that point where they're all of a sudden someone just clicks with them. And you see this smile comes on. It's like an immediate gratification, you know? And they just have a smile. Sometimes it's even a spouse that will just say, "Oh my gosh, you haven't walked that way in years." And it sometimes can be a quite emotional response too. Boy, I tell you, that's when I feel like I've really got something to them, yeah.
It's my understanding that in the early days of your career, you had a lot of hands-on exposure to CMT patients just early on in your career, and so it was formative in your understanding of being able to watch them progress and watch them experience the results that you were able to bring.
Absolutely, and because it's an inherited neuropathy, when my patients had a good experience with me, next thing you know, they're calling in their cousins and their brothers and all their relatives who also have the disease, and I'm next thing you know, I'm seeing a whole family, an extended family of patients with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease.
That's profound impact.
Yeah,
You know, you get to change that family's landscape of how they move about the world.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and we'll talk about more, I'm sure, about what's involved, what happens with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. But yeah, being able to restore somebody's mobility and their confidence, just so they can keep up with their family and peers, to go on vacation, not feel like they need special treatment, to be able to just stand in a room in a sea of people, you know, and not lose your balance, and be able to concentrate on what somebody's saying as you're talking to them. Those are great benefits that we can provide patients with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease.
Could you describe a breakthrough moment in your treatment of CMT and the development of your practice?
Certainly. Yeah. You know, what I found was that, just providing a brace, which is the traditional role of an orthotist, we provide the brace. And many orthotists don't even want to do much gait training. We don't get paid for it. And that's what physical therapists are for, is the traditional concept. But really, when the therapists don't really understand what's possible, what the potential is for the brace, they're not going to get it there. They have to get it from us, the orthotists, who are designing it and really know what the potential is. And I've spent a long time just working with patients to teach them quickly how to really experience the real benefits of these AFOs. For example, most patients with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, if they can't get on their toes, then functionally it's like they're amputated at the foot. And basically, if they lean forward, there's nothing there to prevent them, they're just going to fall forward. So they compensate by basically staying back. And they'll stand back on their heels, basically like they're standing on a peg. And they know if they go forward, they're going to fall, so they're terrified to do that. And it's very difficult to get someone to just trust you and say, lean into the brace, move, you've got a forefoot now, try and use it. They don't want to do it. But I had a breakthrough moment just a few months ago where I just had somebody walk backwards. And that forced them to do it. And now what I do is I train somebody to walk backwards a few steps and forwards a few steps, and I say the positioning is the same, whether you're going forwards or backwards, and right away they get it. And they can feel their foot being lowered to the ground, and then as they go forward, being propelled forward, the heel comes off the ground. And that was a great breakthrough moment for me too. And that's what we incorporate into the program.
Okay, awesome. Can you give me some of those basic elements of human gait that you're looking at with a patient?
Certainly. So, we break down human gait into two phases of gait. There's swing phase and there's stance phase. In swing phase, the biggest thing we're looking to do is to make sure that the toe doesn't drag. You don't have foot drop where you're going to trip and drag your toe. So that's what we want to take care of in swing phase. In stance phase, there are these, what we call 3 stance phase rockers. I talk about this a lot. And so back when I was in school, we talked about all these phases of gait. There was heel strike, foot flat, mid stance, heel rise, toe off, and then you start swing phase again. And it was basically talking about snapshots of human gait. And then later, this brilliant researcher named Dr. Jacqueline Perry, she came up with a different way of looking at gait. She didn't have normal gait herself. She didn't achieve heel strike. And so she says we have loading response. And then she had these 3 stance phase rockers that she talked about. And so first rocker happens when the heel hits the ground, and we get this slow, controlled plantar flexion of the foot down to the ground. That also helps us with some propulsion. And then second rocker occurs as our foot's fixed on the floor. Now we're advancing our mass over a distance, and that's how we basically advance our mass over a distance. And then just prior to heel shake of the leading foot, we're supposed to achieve heel rise. And that's the third rocker, heel rise. Restoring those three stance phase rockers is the ideal goal. That's what we want to do.